are so many opinions when it comes to the proper way to clean and care for a cast iron skillet. Never let water touch the pan. It's okay to use some water, never use soap. No, soap is okay. Well, I've been using cast iron nearly daily for over a decade, so I have some experience with the care and keeping of it. So today I'm going to be sharing my personal methods for getting the job done. No, it's not going to please everyone, but I consider it a sensible and practical way to go about it. Let's jump right in. Now, if you cook something in your cast iron skillet and there's no food stuck on the pan afterwards, then just go ahead and leave it. Unless you cooked something really stinky in it like fish, there's no need to clean it. Now, if you don't use the pan for another week or two, it would be a good idea to give it a cleaning just because the oils may have become rancid. And to me, it just feels a little bit weird to use a pot that has food particles sitting on it for over a week. If there are only a few food particles in the pan and they aren't stuck on, you can just use a paper towel or a dedicated cast iron rag to just wipe the particles out. The reason I suggest having a dedicated cast iron rag is that the cast iron can actually transfer black stains onto your rag. If you don't mind turning all of your rags black, there's no need to use a dedicated one. Just don't use your precious, expensive heirloom dish rags on it. If there's a significant amount of food left in the pan, you'll of course want to scrape it up and dump that into the trash before you continue the cleaning. If there's food that is stuck onto the pan, I personally go ahead and employ some water and a scrubber. You don't necessarily have to use water to scrub it. If it's just like a little bit of food stuck on there, you can just use a scrubber to get it up off of the pan and then rinse it briefly with water. This is my personal favorite tool to scrub out cast iron. It's the Full Circle Tenacious C cast iron brush and scraper. The bristles are strong enough to scrape out almost any stuck on food, and there's also a built-in scraper to get those really stubborn pieces of food. And if there's some food that's really stuck on there, I go ahead and soak it in some water. I know, the cast iron police are going to be coming for me, but that's what I do. I know that my pans would be way better seasoned if I didn't use any water, but it's worth it for me to get the job done quickly. I usually don't use any soap unless the food has been sitting on the pan for quite a while and gotten questionable. Now, if you do use water to clean your pan, you're going to want to dry and oil your pan right away afterwards. Do not let it air dry, otherwise it might start to rust. You can use a dedicated rag to dry the pan, but what I do is I put it over the stove and turn it onto like a medium-low heat and allow the heat to dry the pan. Just make sure that you do not forget about it. Set a timer if you need to. After the water has evaporated, you can add a drizzle of oil and rub it around with a paper towel. Or my favorite method is to use avocado oil spray. It gives it a nice, even, thin coating of the oil, and then you don't really have to use a cloth to smooth it out across the pan. And when you heat your pan and then add the oil, this kind of lightly re-seasons it between each use. You could also do a more lengthy mini seasoning session over the stove if you feel like your pan could use a non-stick boost. Just lightly coat it with oil and let it heat over the stove empty except for the oil for a few minutes. Again, make sure to set a timer so that you don't smoke up your kitchen. And of course, you should have your vent fan running the whole time. I often let my pan heat over the stove with some oil in it after I finish cleaning it to keep the seasoning topped up, so to speak. Make sure to season the handle as well from time to time if you notice it getting dry or rusty. Now, if your pan does develop some rust, you can soak it in some water, scrub off the rust with a stainless steel scrubby, and then dry it and re-oil it. If your pan gets really bad, you can always re-season it in the oven. A while back, I left my pan to dry over the heat for too long, and the seasoning actually started to flake away. So it was definitely in need of some TLC. Here's the method that I used to bring it back to life. First, you're going to want to scrub your pan really well to get rid of any rust, or in my case, flaking seasoning. Then dry it and rub it with a thin layer of an oil that has a high smoke point. You'll want to buff the oil into the pan with a paper towel or a lint-free cloth. Make sure the oil isn't too thick. Make sure to oil the handle and bottom of the pan as well. When I flipped my pan over, I realized that the bottom needed a scrubbing as well, so it was back to the sink. Then pop it upside down in a 450-degree Fahrenheit oven for 1 hour. It's a good idea to put a pan or some aluminum foil underneath the cast iron skillet to catch any oil drips. You do not want oil dripping onto the bottom of your oven and stinking up your kitchen, trust me. Hopefully you won't have any oil dripping off if you did a thin enough layer, but it's a good idea to just take this precaution. After the hour, turn the oven off and let the pan cool inside of the oven for 30 minutes. Then carefully remove and you should have a nicely seasoned cast iron skillet. If your pan was really badly stripped like mine, you may have to repeat the process a time or two to get a good seasoning layer developed. So that's my practical guide to the care and keeping of cast iron. If you have any questions, make sure to leave me a comment and I'll do my best to answer. And make sure to check out this video next to learn how to make the perfect sunny side up eggs so that the whites are cooked all the way through and the yolks aren't dry and chalky.